think that I was talking with the local devotees, and we're now in Ekachakra, and they were telling me how Acharya Maharaj set up the different temples to be, each temple to be administered, and although he didn't have a lot of manpower, he had persons working for him, and that the devotees were in touch with all these different temples that they were going on, and they were Acharya Maharaj allowed and had the local temples all functioning. And one comment I made is what Srila Govinda Maharaj said. He said, a running temple will run, meaning that once something is properly set up, a temple is set up, it will continue. And all of us, I think, well, we have experience sometimes when we have just a few devotees even that we're able to continue with the temple. Srila Guru Maharaj, he said that it doesn't take very many persons to run a temple, in the sense that we know that many devotees may participate in the temple, but sometimes the central administration of the temples or the going on of the temples is like someone who's in charge of the temple, running the temple, and then a pujari, and cooks, and like that, you can continue with the temple. So I don't feel that there's any Acharya Maharaj set up the temples, and I feel that they will continue. And I have faith in the arrangements that Acharya Maharaj made for the mission. And I've also mentioned as necessary, we'll deal with any meaning. Individually, we'll deal with any problems that arise as they touch upon us, as they come to us. But at the same time, our focus and emphasis on this time is going to be the divine memory of Acharya Maharaj. That really, that's the biggest concern. Many devotees, they feel very much aggrieved that Srila Acharya Maharaj left suddenly, and their concern is honoring his divine memory, especially in this time, so soon after Acharya Maharaj left this world, that people want to properly remember him and glorify him, and that's really the focus. We had a program that the devotees from Singapore asked about in SoCal on Thursday for Srila Acharya Maharaj, and my understanding is that the glorification of Srila Acharya Maharaj was going on all over the world, in all the different temples. So that happened on Thursday, but that doesn't mean that now things will just return to so-called normal. That's not our consideration. Our consideration that as I said, we'll continue with maintaining the temples and continue with the temples, how they're running, but the focus is going to be always on the divine memory of Srila Acharya Maharaj. I know that Srila Govinda Maharaj, when someone close to him passed away, he was meditating on that for many days, and we heard from Acharya Maharaj when Santosh passed away how he was very much affected. So I'm not saying that everyone's in deep mourning or anything like that. What I'm saying is that there's all these times, as Srila Maharaj says, in the time of disappearance of the spiritual master, that is the time for introspection and for internal development of the disciple, of the devotee, because many challenges will come to us, and always we were protected by Srila Gurudeva, by by Sheila Charimarsh. And now we have to continue.
Andaba sueña Maharaj, Srila Maharaj ya está en la reunión. Maharaj, no sé si puede hacer un resumen de lo que estaba diciendo en inglés, Maharaj.
Ok. ¿No hay nadie que está haciendo traducciones?
Vamos a intentar, Maharaj, entonces. Vamos a intentar.
Ok, dame un minuto.
Ok, Maharaj, ya está la checante.
Ok.
Dandadas. ¿Sería posible que fuera hablada la traducción?
Ok. Pues lo que hablaba es que obviamente en estos días, como hemos subrayado antes, es que nosotros vamos a continuar y el enfoque va a estar en la divina memoria de Srila Charimarsh, que como he dicho, las cosas pueden continuar, la administración y todo pueden continuar. Y Srila Govindamar dijo que un templo que está funcionando va a continuar funcionar. Él dijo, a running temple will run. Entonces, nosotros, Srila Charimarsh estableció varios templos, realmente él abrió muchos templos en la India, y todos esos templos tienen diferentes grupos de devotos locales que están manteniendo los templos. Ellos reportaron a Charimarsh y hay devotos que están con Charimarsh que están en contacto con esos diferentes templos. Entonces, no siento que tenemos que preocuparnos tanto de cómo va a continuar las cosas. Nosotros podemos ver las necesidades mientras que ellos surgen uno por uno. Pero al mismo tiempo, nuestro enfoque, nuestra necesidad interna va a ser glorificar y recordar a Srila Charimarsh. Y la cosa también es como Srila Charimarsh dice, que en la desaparición del guru, del acharya, siempre hay una necesidad de desarrollo y de parte del discípulo. El discípulo antes tuvo siempre la protección de Gurudev, estaba ahí mientras que yo estaba como avanzando y agarrando el hilo, pero al mismo tiempo ya por el tiempo de la desaparición del acharya, nosotros mismos tenemos que desarrollar, tenemos que ver nuestro desarrollo interno, que ya no vamos a siempre tener la presencia de Gurudev para solucionar todos los problemas que podemos consultar con él o que podemos ver. Pero nosotros tenemos que desarrollar también la habilidad de solucionar y ver esos problemas por nuestro propio desarrollo. Y aparte de eso, yo dije que yo estaba con Srila Govindamar cuando diferentes devotos muy prominentes desaparecieron y Srila Govindamar, como yo veía como él estaba en un estado, podemos decir, de meditación. Yo recuerdo cuando un devoto en Kolkata fue atropellado por un carro por varios días. Srila Govindamar era muy silencioso acerca de eso y pensativo. Y yo también recuerdo con el Charimarsh cómo reaccionó cuando Santosh, quien era muy querido para él, murió en un choque de carros en Bengal. Y ciertamente esas son cosas muy profundas que nos van a afectar y no podemos simplemente considerar que las cosas van a ser normales, que todo va a estar normal, ¿no? El discípulo tiene que, ¿cómo podemos decir? Tiene que contestar a la desaparición de Gurudev, que nosotros tenemos que ver cuáles cualidades, cuál habilidad de reaccionar en una forma muy positiva, de tomar más desarrollo, más responsabilidad que podemos hacer. Pues eso es lo que hablaba. Yo no soy muy eficaz en hacer la traducción, pero así lo estoy explicando. I was speaking in Spanish, trying to explain what I had said before to the Spanish devotees, how there's a necessity now for us to be able to develop, all of us internally, in our own Krishna consciousness in response to Gurudev leaving. That requires more from the part of the disciple, of the devotee. And Srila Guru Maharaj writes extensively of that. He talks of that. So that will be our necessity, to be able to take up some of the responsibility that Gurudev, he personally was doing, and he was shielding us from so many difficulties, and he will continue to give his protection to us. It's not that, as we know, Gurudev is not just a physical presence. Gurudev is also part of, we'll say, the faith of the devotee and responding to the devotee's desire to serve in Krishna consciousness. Gurudev always gives us protection. Whether one was in India or one was far away, one always could offer his devotion, whatever he offered, what he is, his food or we'll say boga, offer everything. Srila Guru Maharaj says, our relationship with the higher plane is that we offer the raw materials to that plane. We offer raw materials to Gurudev, our thoughts, our words, our food in the form of boga to Gurudev. We offer also presents or gifts. For instance, we give donations to the central mission which he has established. And everything that we get back from Gurudev is prasad. Whatever we are giving, our position is to offer the raw materials to Gurudev, and what we get back is prasad. Whether it's revealing our mind, whether it's offering food, offering preparations to Gurudev, or whether it's contributing to Gurudev's mission, everything that we get back is prasad. So that we will continue with that relationship. Whether Acharya Maharaj was here physically, we were serving in different countries and still offering what we could to Gurudev. That relationship will continue. It's not that Gurudev is a physical presence. He's still present, regardless of whether he's in this world or not. We're still, all of us, myself, Ashram Maharaj, we're still offering our lives to Gurudev, whether it's to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Acharya Maharaj. Gurudev is not just a physical body, a physical presence. We are always, our whole life, we are offering everything to Gurudev. It doesn't stop. It's eternal. It's always going on. That's what I'm saying. So in these times, especially, that must be the focus. We must rise to this situation. We are confronted by difficulties that will naturally arise in the disappearance of Gurudev. We cannot expect that those difficulties will not come. They must come. And they come to test the devotee. That is what Srila Sridhar says. Everything will come to test the devotee. But we can pass that test by our faith. Everything will depend on Shraddha. Everything will depend on our faith. And if we have that faith, we can go on.
धन्यवाद कुशल शिवा महाराज
धन्यवाद अनंत गोविंद प्रभु
I have a question.
All right.
Ananta Govinda Prabhu quiere hacer una pregunta.
Yes, it's a question and like a request also. In the Pranam mantra that Srila Gurudev composed for Srila Acharya Maharaj, he said, "My Gurudev." So when we say the Pranam mantra, we are addressing him like our gurus. Now, well, he's departed from this plane, and now I'm requesting to Srila Ashra Maharaj and to Janardana Maharaj to please be my gurus now, my guardians, and well, I hope that they accept me like their disciples, and if they can give me some little service, I will try to fulfill that.
I always want to have relationship with the devotees, whether my God brothers, and I consider for so many years I was with Srila Govinda Maharaj, so many years. Originally it was with Srila Prabhupada, but with Prabhupada, I was with Prabhupada short time, maybe 7 years, 8 years. And then with Guru Maharaj, and actually Ashram Maharaj, he came to Guru Maharaj's mission in 1981, and I can say I was inspired by him. He was in Mexico, and he's younger than myself, but he gave me some inspiration. And then, after Govinda Maharaj's disappearance, and Govinda Maharaj named Acharya Maharaj as his successor. So we will consider that for us divinity, and I will do what I can to serve them in any capacity. If somebody asks me for some help or some protection, I will try to do that. I mean, my desire is to serve the Vaishnavas in whatever capacity I can. And Srila Gurudev says that Guru is the inspired side of the Vaishnava. So I don't expect that the people will necessarily consider me, like as Ananta Govinda is saying, as their guru. If somebody asks me for some kind of shelter or some kind of help, I cannot see it myself how I am capable of that. I mean, I don't hold myself in that kind of consideration, but somehow or other I have been trying to serve for many years now. I'll continue. And if somebody approaches me, asks me, please give me some help, give me some shelter, although I consider myself unworthy, I will try to do that as much as that person asks me for it. It's like if somebody asked, I remember one time one time, Srila Prabhupada, he was leaving India, because he would spend about 7 months in India and 5 months outside of India. And I was in India, and he was leaving India, and I was very new. I had just joined. And I said to Srila Prabhupada, how can I understand that when you are gone, maybe, at that time I was washing pots or something. I said, how can I understand that if I'm washing pots or doing this, that I have connection with you when you're far away? And Srila Prabhupada responded, he said, just like if I am doing arti, he said, I may ask you. He said, I'm doing arti and I'm asking you, hand me a fan. And he said, so all the service that is going on is actually my service, is what Prabhupada told me. It's all my service, everything that's going on in the temple. And that would include washing the pots, helping maintain the temple, doing everything. He said, it's actually all my service. But he said, just like I'm asking you in an arti, if I'm doing the arti, I'm asking you, please hand me a fan, the fan for the deities. He said, I'm asking for your help, so is that all right? Well, it's a very humble way of responding. Prabhupada was telling me, it's all my service, but I'm asking you to help. And so, from that time, or maybe my realization not so complete, but I was always trying to remember that what I'm doing is to assist my Gurudev in his service. So I will try to do that in any capacity. If somebody asks me for help, I will do that. But as I'm considering, it's all in the service of Gurudev. Anything that I'm doing, I don't, whether somebody is qualified or a little qualified or less qualified, but someone can do something, then I'm trying to do that for Gurudev. So whatever is asked of me, if Nanda Govinda asked me to help give him some shelter or something, I'll try to do that. But I'm considering it's all my service to Gurudev. I mean, I've been in this situation with the disappearance of my Gurudev 4 times now. This is something that how so? Because now I'm old. When I joined, I was very young. I was 25 years old when I joined the mission. That's older. And when I joined the mission, I was 25 years old, and I was one of the oldest persons in the temple. Can you imagine that? 25 years old, and I was older than most of the devotees. That's how young the mission was when we started. I don't know if Ashram Maharaj, what was his age in respect to the devotees?
Same happened, Maharaj. Very young, all the devotees were like un promedio de 18 años aproximadamente, toda la población del templo.
He said when he joined also, all the devotees, the average age of the devotees was 18. When I joined, I was
23 at that time.
You were 23?
Yes.
Okay, when I joined, I was 23.
But I was elder than most of them.
Yeah, I was
The
also...
senior person was Sajan Maharaj. Madar Manohar.
Okay. So when I joined, I was one of the older devotees, and I was 25. Now in our temple, the average age of the devotees living in the temple, I don't know. When I joined, if somebody was 35 years old, I thought that person was very old. Very old. And now the situation, at least in our temple, everyone is, what can you say, they're all on Social Security. Everyone is on on some relief for the elderly or something like that. So a long time, and as I said, as a result of that time passing, now I'm old, I have had to first see and go on after the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada. And as the mission was not ready for that. It took us many years, and we did many things wrong after the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada. Unfortunately, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he came to give relief to the devotees. And here the devotees called our mission. They had the name Vaishnava Seva Society, were registered, but they called it Community Relief Service. As we were to give some relief, and that was like I don't know, it was like remembering Srila Guru Maharaj. He's giving relief to the devotees. Actually, after the disappearance of Prabhupada was very difficult for the whole mission. Everybody, as I said, was very young. Nobody knew how to deal with that situation. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj came and gave us some shelter. And then for Srila Govinda Maharaj, now when we joined Srila Govinda Maharaj, we're let's say, a little older, in our 30s or something, and we're with Srila Govinda Maharaj, and we're thinking now that we have experience, but Srila Govinda Maharaj let us know what is the reality of this situation. I remember I said to Srila Govinda Maharaj, because Guru Maharaj was in Navadip, I said, I would like to stay here in Navadip and be here and serve here and develop in that way. And Srila Govinda Maharaj said, what did you say? You said you would like to go collect in Kolkata? And I said, no, that's not what I said, Srila Govinda Maharaj. I was saying I would like to stay here and develop here and be here in Navadip. And Srila Govinda Maharaj then said, I think it would be better if you would go do some service in Kolkata. So he sent me to Kolkata. And I know later I was with Ashram Maharaj, and both of us were going out collecting in Kolkata. That was the desire of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And later he said to me, I was thinking like, now I'm older now, but I was in my 30s, and I was thinking I will stay. And then Srila Govinda Maharaj, he told me he wanted me to go to Brazil, to help in Brazil. And so Govinda Maharaj immediately began to engage me in service and teach me when I came to Srila Govinda Maharaj, I've been in the mission for maybe 15 years. But Srila Govinda Maharaj, he gave me instructions. He helped me, and he was with me for 20 years. But then Srila Govinda Maharaj, he chose as his successor, Srila Acharya Maharaj. And we all know how much difficulty Acharya Maharaj had. From the very beginning, the devotees were so much challenging, I don't know what words to use, but they were many of them, they were just so offensive. And Acharya Maharaj's whole time, he had to continue, but Acharya Maharaj I found that all the time he was showing so much strength and desire to serve to Srila Govinda Maharaj. one devotee complained to me. He said, "Oh, that this is going on. I am in all this struggle, and I asked him, well, I have heard that there have been attempts on the life of Srila Charimars, that people have tried to even go so far as to kill him. Do you believe that's true?" And that devotee said, "Yes, I believe that." Then I said, "Then what are you complaining about? Somebody tried to physically harm my guru. What would I do? I would not shy away from that situation. I don't want to say what I would do, because I certainly don't want to inspire anyone to be violent. It's not our desire to be violent. We don't want to react in that way. But if somebody came to harm Gurudev, I would stop them. Whatever I had to do, I would stop them. Even if I had to put myself in the way, I would do that. Who would not do that for their Gurudev? So we're serving, and Acharya Maharaj, he had to confront so many difficult situations, and he shielded us from them, and he never encouraged us to react violently. He did not want us to react violently, but he wanted us to react devotionally. He wanted us to react with maturity and devotion to any situation. Now Acharya Maharaj has left this world, but we will still have to reflect upon that, what he asked of us. He didn't ask us to become violent. He asked us to increase our devotion. And now his disappearance, he's asking us to increase our devotion. So that's what's really necessary. And if we're going to continue with this mission, that is what is expected of all of us. Anyway, these are my feelings. Perhaps this is all philosophical words. It sounds very nice and flowery, but I mean, that's really what I feel. That's what I'm thinking. I have to respond to this situation. I'm not going to just, go back to my room and just hide. That's not what is expected. I'm not just going to withdraw and think, "Oh, Gurudev left this world, now I will retreat from this world." No, I'm not going to do that. He never did that. Why should I? In his divine service, why should I withdraw from service now that Gurudev is gone? Anyway, there's a long answer to not to go with this question, but and I can't just say, "Oh yes," requires some consideration. I will try to help. I will try to help whoever asks me to help them. Somebody says, "I'm carrying something heavy. I can't carry this alone. Can you help me?" Yes, I'll try to help you. It's too heavy for you. Then the two of us together, we will try to lift this. Isn't that what always happens? Isn't it like that always? So it's like that now too. The responsibilities that we have given by Gurudev. Someone asked, "This is very heavy for me. I can't lift this alone. Will you help me?" I'll say, "Yes, I'll help you." Ashramars. So many.
Yes.
I see Ashramars is a person who, myself, Ashramar is the person that I most will talk with and discuss things with Ashramars. I've always, always had that relationship with him. I would say we communicate almost daily. So I find that many times when I'm thinking, I ask Ashramars, what is his consideration? And he does the same with me. That way we respond to different things that I'm saying. And sometimes I'll say something or he'll say something. He'll respond or I'll respond and he'll say yes. But I think maybe it could be better like this. Okay. I gave an example before and I continue to give that example. That individually one stick can be broken, but when many sticks are in a bundle, you can't break them. If you have like some thin stick, like some twig or something thin like a stick of incense, easily you could break that. But if you put hundreds together, then they cannot be broken. So we will all get strength by the association of devotees. And sometimes if somebody thinks that they're right and everybody else is wrong, I mean, there may be some times when that's true, but generally speaking, if you think you're right about something and everyone else thinks you're wrong, the chances are you're probably wrong. Maybe not always, but the chances are you can't always think that you know better than everyone. We need the help of our God brothers and God sisters. I told Srila Prabhupada I wanted to take sannyas because I couldn't work with my God brothers and God sisters. But that was long ago, and what I was just saying, I was just saying I want to do something for the mission. I want to have some project. And that's why I wanted to take sannyas. I wanted to do something. It's not that I didn't like to be with my God brothers and God sisters. It's just that. But I put it in those terms because I was thinking now nobody will let me take any responsibility. I have to always, just like I remember Srila Prabhupada, he said when he wanted to take sannyas, he approached, I guess, who was Kunja Babu or Bhakti Vilas Tirtha, the Chaitanya monk, and he wanted to take sannyas, and he was told, you served in the mission for 1 year, working in the temples, and then we'll see. But Prabhupada was elderly, and he said, I didn't want to just be in the temple and babysit everybody. He said, I wanted to take sannyas and do something. So Prabhupada didn't accept that consideration. Now that's maybe not a bad consideration, but it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada. So he went to Srila Sridhar Maharaj and he asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj for sannyas, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj told Prabhupada, my relationship with your family is too close, in the sense that Srila Sridhar Maharaj knew Prabhupada's whole family. He had sons and daughter, and he had wife, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj knew all of them personally. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj didn't want to give sannyas to Prabhupada, but he said, if you go to Keshav Maharaj has sannyas from me, so it is also my mantra that I have given to him. He said, if you go to Acacia Mars, he is more, you could say, he is more independent of the situation. He will give you silence. That's what we heard. You heard that, Asha Marsh?
Yes, yes, of course. Many devotees have heard that.
How Prabhupada went first to Puja Babu, to the head of the Chaitanya Math, and he said, stay and be at the temples for at least a year, and then we will see. But Prabhupada, at that time, he's in his 70s. He's feeling an urgency to preach, to take sannyas, to satisfy Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he asked Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj was hesitant because he knew Prabhupada's family so well. So he said, go to Kesha Maharaj. He has my mantra, he will give it to you. And then Prabhupada did that. You know, when I was young, I said, I can't work what my godmother is. But that was just a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of my, let's say, passion, a little bit of, like, very wanting to do something. So yes, I can't just stay here at the temples. I want to go travel and preach. And Prabhupada understood that. He said, yes, he agreed. At that time, I was 27 years old. Young and foolish. Then I remember how I would go to different places. First, we were to do Pando programs in India. And I talked with the Chutananda, at that time, the Chutananda Swami. And he was older than myself, I think by age not older, but he was one of the first persons in Prabhupada's mission. So I went to places in South India, and I advertised that Prabhupada's first disciple coming to, first sannyas disciple, first disciple coming here. And it was not exactly the truth, almost the truth. It was almost the truth. He is one among the first disciples, but wasn't the first. They were different. But I advertised. Then, like this, we had big programs, and then he couldn't come. He was in Kolkata, and I was in South India, and he couldn't come. So I thought, what can I do? And I thought, nobody knows him, nobody knows me. I'll just do the programs myself. So I did the programs myself, and it's so new, and I was speaking on Bhagavad Gita, and I would just get these cards, and I would make notes, and on the notes I would write out verses and Sanskrit, and sometimes even I'd write down some comments, like some humorous comments or something. I put in the note cards, and I'm reading from the note cards, and that way I could do something. I was reading, and we were doing programs in Vijayawada and Guntur, and maybe it was 4,000 people, 5,000 people sometimes in these programs. And I started out, and somebody was translating into Telugu, although that was not such good translation, but they were translating into Telugu, and I gave the example, and then afterwards they were saying, you spoke 1 hour, please speak longer. So then I understood, I have to speak longer, and then I'm speaking longer each night. And then we're showing, then after I spoke, then we questions and answers, and then we have a slideshow. And we're showing slides from all over the world of different activities in different parts of the world. We're showing slides and like that, doing programs. And I'm gradually, I start out very like green, very like a green twig or a green fruit. No, not developed, but gradually, more and more I'm growing by doing these programs and with the public. And one time I went to do a program, and there on the wall, like on the wall of the condo, there was a picture, well, maybe I should say, but it was a picture of Ramakrishna on the wall. And I told the man who was making the condo, I said, take that picture down. And he said, no, I won't take it down. And I said, either you take it down or I'll take it down. I said to somebody, bring me a chair. And he said, no, all right, I'll take it down. So I made him take down the picture. And then I heard the translator was, somebody asked about near Guna, and I responded, and the translator said, because they worship deities and worship what form they're talking about, actually they're doing Saguna worship. And I told, this translation is wrong. And the next day I heard about it. Somebody told me that the translator was adding his own dots, and I called the next day and I told the translator, yesterday you translated like this, and you said this, and you said this. Now, tell everyone that what you said was wrong. You did not translate properly. And I made him, the translator, like that. Let's, like it. It's nice. Everyone, if they will have some preaching opportunity, all of you, you can serve Acharya Mars in that way by increasing preaching, going out to the public, going as best we can do. We can do all kinds of programs. We can announce to people, it's special programs. You can put in any kind of, way. Now, here in Soquel, I was trying to see how we can increase the program. So instead of just having classes and everything, I asked some of the ladies to do Zoom programs or in our case on Facebook. So one of them is one lady, Vaidehi, Kalini's daughter. She can speak nicely, so on Monday she's speaking. And then on another day, Brenda speaks a little philosophically, but she's giving cooking lessons, online cooking lessons. And I saw that if I give a talk, maybe I can say something and some people will listen. But when the ladies speak, they have so many hundreds and hundreds of persons that are tuning into them, because people in the mission are thinking, well, the men are doing everything. When do we get to hear from the ladies? So they put the ladies are giving also some Zoom programs or Facebook programs, and many people are listening to them, because many of the devotees out there, look around, there's so many ladies in our mission. They also want to be able to hear something. So this is all service that you can do for Gurudev. Maybe in India they look, in the beginning they look a little strange when the ladies were chanting and dancing. Like in India, normally Indian ladies wouldn't chant and dance, but so many of the Westerners, the ladies were very enthusiastic. And then gradually you could see that the Indian ladies, they started also also joining in with the kirtans and participating more. So I feel there's opportunity for everyone. And now I just received yesterday from, let me see, from Malachi, Haribandhu's wife. It says, Clase para los devoticos. This is a class for children. Where they're doing, let me see. Can't read up everything here, but they're doing Lord's Mass. Maybe, where is Malati? Is she here? Prema Sundar, Prema Sundar, you tell what Malati is doing in these classes. What are the classes? They're for children. Do you know?
No, Maharaj, no. Sorry.
Maharaj. Oh, okay. Malati, you have two computers turned on. Speak in one of them and turn the other one off.
Ven, Malati, que si por favor apagas un computador porque hace eco, por favor.
Or just use one microphone. And,
Ya, cuadre el sonido.
Okay.
Dandas Maharaj, dandas Silara Maharaj, dandas para todos los devotos. Muy contenta de escuchar su verso.
¿Qué era el programa que hiciste para los niños? Dijo, un programa para devoticos.
Maharaj en realidad es una iniciativa de Sripad Sal Maharaj. Se está programando un campamento en Colombia y pues se está organizando a algunos devotos en acompañar a estos programas, a estos chiquitos. Y pues la idea es que pues retomar lo mismo que usted está diciendo acerca de retomar nuestras actividades con más fuerza, con más dedicación. Y pues la idea es que más que con nuestros chiquitos, nuestros niños. Y pues es una tarea, un servicio muy bonito. Entonces, en coordinación con los devotos de Venezuela y de aquí de Colombia, hemos hecho algunos como programas, estamos mirando diferentes actividades con los niños encaminadas a cultivarles esa parte devocional. Es un programa muy bonito.
So somebody can say in English what Malati just said.
I'm typing it already.
Huh?
I'm
All right,
typing it
well,
already.
all
I
right.
want me to say it in English. Okay.
Say it in English because we're listening, not just reading.
Okay. Malati Didi from Colombia. And she's saying that actually this program, it comes from Sadhu Maharaj. And I think it's the Navanita Taskara. See, Malati?
Yes.
Okay, so yes. Is that Navanita Taskara is the name of the program. So what they are doing is trying to increase the devotional activities, and who better to do that than with the children. So they are trying to organize in teamwork with Venezuelan devotees, Colombian devotees, and other devotees, like a summer camp, winter camp with the children, and try to cultivate some activities with them. They currently, I know, have some meetings that are attended by the kids. And then there was one yesterday, indeed. So the children, I didn't see the whole program, but the children like do some activities, questions. He asks them to do some drawings. They work with puppets.
Yeah, I saw in Mexico Krishna Prema Tanangini. She is doing programs with puppets, with theater and everything with the children, and they're very, very popular. So this, like I'm saying, we can have Zoom conferences, we can have Facebook conferences and everything like that. And it was just men speaking, then after a while it was just like as Ananta Krishna used to say, it's just blah 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 blah. But after but they also want to hear people throughout the world. We can increase our preaching. They want to hear programs from the ladies. The ladies can talk about, the ladies can speak philosophy. Sometimes, like Brenda, she's doing a cooking class. Then there's programs for children. All these programs draw in the public and help increase people's awareness of Krishna consciousness. And I feel this is a service that we can do, and we can do everything in the service of Srila Acharya Maharaj. He was very desirous of increasing the participation of all the devotees throughout the world. I felt he did that very nicely. You can see. I mean, I hadn't been to Colombia for a long time because, well, for one reason or another, just say. And then when I went back, I thought, my God, there's so many devotees here, hundreds and hundreds, and I hadn't been there for some time, and there weren't that number of devotees in Colombia. And then I saw all the different temples. Right now I'm trying to remember. I remember Duitama and also Paipa, Duitama, Medellin, Bogota, Tunja. I had never been to Paipa before. I had never been to Paipa. And then I go there and there's 150 devotees or more in Paipa. So many devotees. When I left, I had been there, and anyway, I won't go into the story with the Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj asked me for some time. Well, I'm not going to go into why I didn't go to Colombia for some time, but when I went back there so many devotees. I was thinking, and Ashram Maharaj had been visiting Colombia for many, many years. He'd go every year to Colombia. And there were many devotees of Acharya Maharaj. I could see, especially in South America, in Colombia, in Ecuador, in Peru, and in Brazil, and other places, there were hundreds and hundreds of devotees. And recently, I was talking to one of my godbrothers, and he was saying, oh, in India, there are just a few devotees from Venezuela. And I said, no, not just a few devotees from Venezuela. I said, there are many, many devotees coming to India from Colombia, from Venezuela, from Ecuador, from Peru, from Brazil, from Mexico, and also from America, from London, from so many places. It's not just a few devotees from Venezuela that are serving Srila Acharya Maharaj. There are many devotees. But from the very beginning, the Venezuelans were helping Acharya Maharaj in India, in the Singapali, and wherever Acharya Maharaj was. And I can remember like how much. Well, I just remember also Ananda Moy was protecting Acharya Maharaj, and I thought, I was always thinking, how nice is this Ananda Moy? He was so dedicated to the protection of Srila Acharya Maharaj. If I had that kind of person protecting me, wow, I would feel, my God, I got so much strength next to me. Nobody can bother me. That's the kind of server I thought Ananda Moy was, and the other Venezuelan devotees that were there, Acharya Maharaj, they were very, I thought they were very fearless. They came forward. Venezuela is a little bit of a radical place. They were, I feel the nature of the Venezuelans is radical. They're always radical. After the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada, the Venezuelans were very radical, coming forward to serve Srila Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj later. But especially very beginning, they came to serve Srila Srila Maharaj. So I always think of, to a certain way, the Venezuelans are a little revolutionary. And they came to serve Srila Acharya Maharaj. And now, Ashram Maharaj has been traveling extensively in South America, and you can see there are many devotees who are now there from other countries. When I would go to the Gaur Purnima festival, then we would see now all of a sudden Latin America, so many of the devotees from the festivals were from Latin America for the Gaur Purnima festival. There was always big groups coming from South America, from Mexico and countries of Central America. And now, what can you say? It's true, there are Venezuelans all over the world. There's no country that doesn't have Venezuelans practically. Many have left Venezuela and even doing preaching in other countries, leadership positions too. Anyway, I'm taking too much time. That's right.
Janardhan Maharaj.
Yeah.
En las ocasiones pasadas, ayer por ejemplo, mencionabas una cosa que es muy hermosa, cómo es que Srila Acharya Maharaj mencionaba a los devotos que estaban presentes, los saludaba, los devotos ¿verdad? Podían. Así podemos ver quiénes están ahorita en la transmisión. Yo tengo un teléfono, no puedo ver aquí a nadie, pero si tú los llamas y les platicas y en fin, conversas un poco con ellos, o todos podemos escucharlos y verlos aquí.
Okay. Well, I see devotees from Singapore. There's Ravindra Krishna, and devotees from Singapore I can see.
Dhanyavad Maharaj.
How are you?
Very nice, Maharaj. We are continuing the program in Singapore. Even yesterday we had our usual Saturday program. And all the devotees came via Zoom. And we are only allowed 2 people to come.
How many Singapore?
Two.
Yeah.
Only 2 to visit. Only two because of the COVID situation.
Only 2 people?
Yes, only 2 people will visit us for the house, Maharaj.
Yes. And the rest of them we were talking via Zoom. We had a program via Zoom.
Ravindra Krishna Prabhu.
Maharaj.
Who is our god brother by your side?
Jai Shankar Prabhu Maharaj. Jai Shankar Prabhu Maharaj.
Jai Shankar, Dandavad, Dandavad.
Dandavad Maharaj.
Yes.
What did, name? I didn't hear his name.
Jai Shankar.
Jai Shankar Prabhu Maharaj. Jai Shankar Das.
Dandavad.
Dandavad Maharaj, Dandavad.
We need all your blessings, Maharaj, to continue this. And thank you now and then for talking to us and encouraging us, actually.
I'm happy to see.
I will send you the pictures, Maharaj, both of you, our programs.
All our programs will be sent to you, Maharaj, in your handphone, and you will keep in contact. And you will even post in Facebook. You can see in my Facebook. I will talk to most of the devotees sometimes, even in the late night also. I will talk to Ishani Bibi and some other devotees, also Om Kalman Das and some other devotees. You will always keep in contact. You will always glorify Acharya Maharaj. You will always glorify all our Guru Parampara, and as both of you, Maharaj, Sri Janardhan Maharaj and Sri Rasa Maharaj, will always try to keep in close contact, Sadhu Sangha, and this is our goal. And my wish is always, we will always move this mission with love, like what Acharya Maharaj is always leading us, and both of Senior Maharaj, Janardhan Maharaj and Rasa Maharaj also have to guide us and tell all your service to us, and we will do it for you all.
What time is it now there?
Time
is 11:15.
11:15 night, Maharaj. Night 11:15.
Very late, very late.
Late.
Yeah, very late, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj. Dandavad.
Dandavad.
Dandavad, Dandavad.
Okay. Swarnangi, ¿dónde estás tú?
Dandavad Maharaj, con las reverencias. Yo estoy en Paipa, Boyacá, Maharaj,
Okay.
Colombia.
Okay. Uno de los devotos de Paipa, también Haribandu está ahí como el líder, ¿no? En Paipa. ¿Es líder? Pues,
Raúl Nimai,
Nimai, okay.
Pandita.
Nimai Pandit, Haribandu.
El Haribandu Raúl. Yes.
Okay. And we have Hari Ananda, he's in Spain.
Dandavad Pranam Maharaj, reverencias respetuosas a tus pies. Muy lindas palabras las que has dicho hoy y reconfortan nuestra alma. Y nos sentimos muy felices de estar en tu asociación, en la asociación de Aram Maharaj y todos los devotos. Y eternamente agradecidos de ti por la bondad de tu corazón y permitir seguir bajo tu instrucción. Es como si hubiéramos caído en un pozo muy oscuro, muy oscuro, muy oscuro, íbamos cayendo hacia el fondo, pero de repente desde arriba una luz que soltó dos sogas. Inmediatamente nos agarramos de esa soga y estamos intentando salir de ese pozo oscuro. Esas dos sogas salvadoras en nuestro corazón son tú y Srila Aram Maharaj. Eternamente agradecido y siempre a vuestros pies. Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavad. So he's saying that it's like they had fallen in a dark well, but we're trying to help and then giving them some, and they feel that they're seeing some light coming from Ashram Maharaj and others. Okay, then we have Lakshmi Kanti. She's in England.
Dandavad Pranams. Dandavad Pranams.
Who are you with where are you and who are you with there?
I'm alone in the house currently.
Well, what city?
It's Birmingham, in the heart of England.
Birmingham. Okay.
Birmingham queda en el mero centro de Inglaterra.
In the very, very center of England, she says Birmingham.
En el mero centro, como dicen en México.
And Meadow Central.
I will say this also in Spanish. I was thinking something, remember the question I made on Wednesday for you about how to cope and see different gurus, how to cope with that identity, that the guru is not the body, that all those things. And after what you told me, I came to the conclusion.
What conclusion did you come to? Sound is off. Your sound is off.
Sorry, like the Guru Parampara is like a garland, right, of flowers. So in this sense, like, while they are different, we can see them all as one. So then I realized that it's like that, like it's different gurus, it's like a garland of roses. It's different roses, but it's the same thing. I'm going to say it in Spanish as well. El miércoles, en el darshan de que Srila Janardana Maharaj da para los devotos aquí en Inglaterra y en Europa, yo le estaba diciendo que era difícil aceptar la idea de que el guru no es el cuerpo, de que cuando estamos en este momento que estamos sufriendo por la separación de Srila Charya Maharaj. Entonces mucha gente viene a decir el guru no es el cuerpo, el guru es todo uno, el guru es, no es alguien físico. Sin embargo, Janardana Maharaj decía, está bien, hay muchos gurus, pero no todos son tu guru, cada quien tiene una relación con el guru o con un guru en particular. Alguien puede tener una relación con un guru particular y otra persona no tiene el mismo tipo de relación. Y entendí que en las escrituras se dice algo, que el Guru Parampara es como una guirnalda de flores. Y entonces así, esto me ha ayudado un poquito a ver nuestro Guru Varga de esa manera, que cada uno de los gurus es como una flor en una gran guirnalda.
One thing that Guru Maharaj said is Guru is the inspired side of a Vaishnava. So that will also, who is inspiring me? Who I'm seeing as my Gurudev, he is inspiring me. He is someone who's entered in my heart and giving me inspiration. And Haribandhu. Haribandhu. I'm just seeing the different devotees here. Okay.
Qué bonita apreciación la de la Biblia Africana.
Ishani. It's Ishani. Where are you?
Dhanyavad Silan connect Narad Ashram Maharaj. Dhanyavad on the devotees for the Dhanyavad.
You're in which country?
Philippines, Maharaj.
Philippines. How is everything?
A little bit sick because of the COVID-19. It's still going on. So we're not still going furthermore in main city.
Dadu Maharaj, how's everything? ¿Cómo está todo en Ekachakra? ¿Estás en Ekachakra todavía?
Dando programas, Shila Janardana Maharaj. No, en este momento estamos en Kolkata.
You're in Calcutta. How is everything? Everything is going on in Ekachakra?
Sí,
creo.
Sí, how you say before, every running temple is running.
¿Tú puedes hablar en español?
Sí, como decía al principio, que cada templo que está establecido, sí, continúa siempre con algunas dificultades. Hoy en día hay algunas dificultades porque los devotos también de la sección bengalí, como de manera natural, también tienen ciertos mixed feelings en su corazón, ¿no? Y de alguna manera sienten que también quieren ir a su casa, o que cómo van a continuar su servicio, quiénes va a dar inspiración. Entonces se han presentado algunos casos de que, bueno, ya el cocinero no quiere cocinar, ya el puyarí no quiere adorar la deidad, y cosas así. Hay como muchas, podríamos decir, como muchos problemas caseros, pero que no son tan caseros, porque es la casa de todos ustedes también, es la casa que representa la misión. Y así sea un solo el puyari de Cachacra, o sea la cocinera de Nisinapali, o sea el que atiende las vacas en Tarakeshwara, perderlo a él y tratar de recuperar otro es un trabajo bastante difícil, ¿no? Y no solo eso, sino que para hacer ese trabajo se requiere ayuda de la sección también bengalí, ¿no? Nosotros no podemos hacer todo. Convencer a alguien en bengalí que debe continuar con su servicio es difícil. Pero también, día a día, se han ido presentando, como ya sabemos, siempre algún tipo de problemas. Estamos tratando de la manera más posible, armonizando y sin confrontación, de tratar de resolverlo poco a poco.
¿Y cómo se puede comunicar con ellos?
Bueno, como decía, el idioma nos limita un poco, ¿no? Pero no, o sea, tenemos quien, ¿no? Por ejemplo, Nirij Maharaj está haciendo un trabajo ahorita trabajo de alivio para la sección bengalí, que es lo que se necesita ahorita. Como yo decía en una clase de ayer, que todos los devotos que se han unido a la misión de la sección bengalí son devotos de corazón muy simple, son devotos de las villas. Y al acercarse a ellos y decirles todo va a salir bien, nuestro Padre está velando por nosotros de la misma manera como si estuviese aquí, aquí tienes un poquito de especies para seguir cocinando, aquí tienes algo para continuar el servicio, sigue adelante con nosotros como familia. Ayer yo hablaba con un devoto de Tarakeshwar que entiende inglés y le dije solo algo así y su mente se tranquilizó porque tenía todo un torbellino de cosas en la mente por lo que escucha y cree que va a pasar. Y con solo esas palabras, él me dijo, sí, Maharaj, yo voy a hacer eso. Yo a partir de mañana me voy a dedicar al doble de lo que me dedicaba a Silachara Maharaj antes. Entonces ese trabajo también es necesario.
¿Quién dijo?
Un devoto de Tarakeshwara.
Okay. Pero, very good. But Sadhumar was mentioning that in India, many of especially among the Bengali devotees, that they're very much affected by Acharya Maharaj leaving. But he said that Bhakti Tilak Nariha Maharaj, that Nariha Maharaj was communicating with them and helping them and continue with their service. That's happening, but there's also natural, like Srila Govinda Maharaj commented that he said, I am not so worried about the West, I am concerned about India. So how to keep things running smoothly in India, that is, of course, that is a concern of the devotees there, how to keep everything, how to keep the devotees, especially among the Bengali section, inspired. That Srila Govinda Maharaj has left. Different persons are feeling, some persons have, like Pujari, the cook, and all these persons are very much, they're affected. Some Some are thinking, what can they do now if someone went to go to their home or something like this, but there's consideration. It's not that we don't have those problems in the West also. I know here in SoCal, so many services practically go on by committee. In a sense, I don't depend on one person to do the cooking. They're different. Before, I remember in time past, we had Ramai, he did all the pujari work and much pujari work by himself. But now he has passed away, so we have had to organize that among many different persons who are helping with the puja. The same with the cooking. The cooking mostly was done always by Sureshri, but now she's getting more elderly and we have other persons helping with that. So anyway, what can I tell you that? Hay que a veces organizar las cosas prácticamente que no solamente una persona haga un servicio, que antes era así, pero ahora tenemos que conseguir diferentes personas que continuar con el mismo servicio de uno, por ejemplo en la cocina o en el altar o algo así. No solamente una persona, pero 2, 3, 4, ¿no? Tomando turnos. All right, then Jai Gordon, where are you?
Dhanavad Maharaj, Dhanavad Sanatan Maharaj, and Dhanavad Ashram Maharaj, and all the devotees.
Which country are you, Jai?
I'm from Singapore.
Oh, Singapore.
Yes. Okay. How are you doing, Maharaj?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. How's your health and how's the Ashram Maharaj? How's your health and everything?
We are doing fine. We are doing fine, Jai Gordon. Very happy to see you because Acharya Maharaj always will contact you in his Sunday class and will request from you how are you doing, what are the news. We are happy to see you also. Your face, how's your family there, okay?
Family is okay, the children are all sleeping, so we are peaceful right now. Yes. Thank you for this association, Maharaj, to continue the Zoom for all of us here. We're very happy to be here with all of you.
This was something that Acharya Maharaj inaugurated, and I could see it was going on very successfully every Sunday. So many devotees. And that is, like I was saying, everything has to be done according to the conditions of the world now. We're living, like someone saying, I can have Ravindra Krishna was saying couldn't have 2 devotees in a meeting.
You can only have 2 visitors to a household.
And what happens if a family comes and there are 5 people in the family? 3 people have to stay outside?
So you can only have 2 visitors from your family coming to a household. So the rest of them can't come? It's because the cases are going slightly higher right now in Singapore. It's like another sort of like a wave. So they implemented this just not long ago, maybe about a couple of weeks ago. This was implemented. Yeah. So we managed to invite 2 devotees to come over to our place. 2 devotees went to another place, and we tried to connect through Zoom. It was very weird doing a program in that way. We had to be very quiet and stuff, but we managed because we wanted to honor the disappearance of Srila Acharya, so somehow we managed.
And what will the government do if more than 2 people come?
Well, they have a way of tracing. I believe there's an app and then there's a way of tracing. But more than that, it depends on whether you're good neighbors.
Okay, whether you're...
Most of the time it's the neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is everyone in, ¿cómo están todos en Panama Colorado? Oh, los votos de Panama Colorado. Pueden prender el micrófono. ¿Dónde va? ¿Están visitando Purujit también? Él a veces va a Panamá por uno o vive en otra ciudad, no sé.
Preguntando por si viví en otra ciudad o
¿Se escucha? Sí, pero
No, sí, sí lo escuchamos, sí lo escuchamos.
¿Dónde vamos, sí, porque vienen todos los sábados a ver clases y los domingos también. Aquí estamos todos, aquí están también otros negocios.
¿Quién habla? ¿Chamagori? ¿Dónde va?
Aquí también está mi techarte.
¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde va mi techarte?
¿Dónde vamos a ver?
¿Dónde va Tridemo? ¿Dónde va Tridemo? Okay, we remember at Charter March always called some of the devotees that are living in Russia Ashramars. Who is here from Russia? Are you traveling in car?
I'm driving. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
And where
My friend's helping me.
Where are you?
In Moscow.
Oh, in Moscow. Very nice.
Yes. Very happy to hear you. Thank you, Dhanavad.
Dhanavad. Gorangi, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much. How are you?
Good, good. You're in Moscow?
Yes, I'm in Moscow too.
Okay. Good to see you. I remember that Charlie Martins always asked about you. Ashram Maharaj. Hay noticias de Puri Maharaj. ¿Está Revati o está Revati?
Sí, afortunadamente, Maharaj, las noticias que tenemos es buena. Son que no sabe, desde luego, Maharaj no se ha de sentir completamente bien como para participar de la reunión. Pero hemos escuchado de Murali Krishna Prabhu, de Fan Bhushan Prabhu, que ellos lo están haciendo bien, están ya recuperándose, ya no están en ese periodo tan difícil del COVID-19, sino ya están saliendo gradualmente, poco a poco están recuperándose. Y eso, por supuesto, son noticias para todos escuchar. Ya se regresó.
¿Qué dices, Ashram Maharaj?
No, digo que si Bimala ya se regresó a California.
No he hablado con ella hoy, pero creo que ayer regresó. Kumkum's our leader in San Jose.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat. We're filling in for Acharya Maharaj here.
Yes, I'm so fulfilled to hear you and everyone speak about him.
Nice. Everything good in San Jose?
Yes, yes. Everything is so much fortune here. It seems that even by his passing, Srila Acharya Dev was giving us more blessings than ever.
Here in America, they did a lot of, many people got vaccinated and also many people got COVID. So the number of people who have the disease is going down because of the number of vaccinations and number of people who already had COVID. So some reduction is happening. But many other countries, they don't have that. They don't have that facility. Jai Kumar. Jai Kumar.
Yes, Dhanavad Maharaj.
Dhanavad. Are you in Delhi?
No, Maharaj, I am in South India, Maharaj.
Oh, I thought you had your office there in Delhi.
Yes, Maharaj, I was living in Delhi, but a couple of years back I moved to South India. Okay. Delhi was so much polluted and we had to move back to South India, Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Where are you in Tamil Nadu?
Tamil Nadu, I am located in Coimbatore, Maharaj.
Coimbatore.
It's Coimbatore. It's a big city next to the capital city. We are located. We had our ancestral property here. We built our clinic and the house together. And myself and my wife, she is dentist, and I am practicing here.
You're also dentist?
No, Maharaj. I am general physician.
You're what?
I am a general physician. I am a physician.
Oh, a general physician.
Yes, my wife is dentist. So we both have our clinic and house together, and we are practicing here in Coimbatore.
Okay, and Coimbatore, there are some famous temples in Coimbatore?
Yes, Maharaj. I mean, here in South India mostly, I mean, like Shiva temple and Kartikeya temple. And ISKCON is that here. ISKCON, of course, is here. ISKCON, they have built a very huge Jagannath temple here in Coimbatore.
So I'm very happy to be able to hear you. It's been some years since I've seen you.
Yes, Maharaj. I'm always, happy to hear from you. How is the health, Maharaj?
My health is good. There's some problems, but but everything is going on nicely.
Okay. I'm really happy and always eager to have your association, Maharaj.
My Dandavats.
Yeah, Dandavat Pranam, Janardhan Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, Ashram Maharaj. Please let me know whatever service required from this fallen soul.
Dandavat.
Yeah. Dandavat Janardhan Maharaj, Dandavat Ashram Maharaj.
Ashram Maharaj.
Dandavat.
Ashram Maharaj.
Yes.
You know many of the devotees more than me.
There was also another.
You also call on devotees because
there was another.
Yeah.
No, many devotees. Maharaj used to always, regularly contact. There was one couple of devotees from India living in Australia. I cannot remember her name. She used to sing. Sometimes she used to sing before Srila Acharya will come to the meeting.
Satyasundari Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, hace ratito logré hablar con Puri Maharaj y envió saludos y se está recuperando y ha dicho que dentro de poco va a intentar ingresar a la reunión, si puede, pero se está recuperando bien. En estos momentos, hace como 5 minutos, logré hablar con él.
Maharaj, si Patpuri Maharaj ya se unió a la reunión.
Ok.
Él está en línea.
Puri Maharaj, ¿cómo estás? ¿Estás bien? ¿Estás recuperando? ¿Cómo va todo?
Janarda Maharaj, Dandavas. La recuperación es lenta, pero me estoy recuperando. Cada día me siento un poco mejor. Este es un virus que le consume a uno. El viernes pasado estuve en una cita con el médico y hubieron buenas noticias. Por lo menos todos los signos vitales están buenos. No hay más fiebre, la presión arterial, las pulsaciones, todo está perfecto. Me dio algo más de medicina a pesar de que no hay fiebre, pero pues algo como para contrarrestar en caso de que la fiebre quiera aparecer nuevamente. Hasta 15 días que tengo nuevamente cita con él para volver a hacerme otro examen del COVID.
¿Te están dando oxígeno o algo así?
No, nada de esas cosas. Nada de esas cosas. Pues yo pienso que me ha ayudado bastante el hecho de descansar, tomar regularmente la medicina y el descanso más que todo.
Y todavía tienes el frío que tú decías al principio que tenías mucho frío, aunque estabas cubierto con cobijas, aún así tuviste frío.
La última semana no, algo de frío, no sé si es por el ambiente, porque para que haya buena ventilación, abro las ventanas, abro las puertas para que haya una buena circulación de oxígeno y evitar que el virus se quede ahí atrapado.
Pero también los devotos de Colombia decían que esa era como fiebre interna, no por temperatura, pero algo interno en el cuerpo.
Sí, hay algo de eso, pero bueno, estamos saliendo de esto. Espero que esta próxima semana ya todo.
¿Y Reba está mejor también?
Reba ha mejorado también. Claro que pues el servicio ha estado pues detenido, ¿no? Porque no es que uno se sienta al 100% bien, ¿no? Porque pues la tensión de la deidad siempre requiere mucha dedicación, pero tenemos devotos que están ayudando aquí.
Yo siempre digo que había escuchado de Prabhupada, él decía que corta tu abrigo de acuerdo a tu tela. Entonces, de acuerdo a las necesidades de cuántos devotos tenemos aquí, tenemos que hacer nuestro servicio de acuerdo a la capacidad de los devotos. Si, por ejemplo, tú estás enfermo, otros, pues tratamos suplicar, tratamos que alguien haga ese servicio, pero hacemos todo en el templo. Aquí también estamos haciendo que tenemos que ajustar las cosas de acuerdo a las personas disponibles. No podemos. ¿Me entiendes? ¿No?
Sí. En alguna ocasión cuando estuvo aquí Srila Bhavina Maharaj, él me dijo, Rajayama, haga negocio con lo que tenga. Si tiene $1, haga negocio con $1. ¿No? Siempre me estuvo animando en ese sentido de que pues no tratamos de estirarnos más hacia donde nos dan las cobijas.
Ok, entonces vemos que te esfuerza un poquito para hablar y mucha estamos muy contentos de escuchar que estás mejorando.
De hecho, el día que tú tuviste el homenaje para Srila Cheridev, estuve conectado, estuve viendo, no estuve con video, pero quise participar, pues me pareció algo muy importante la celebración que hicieron para Srila Cheridev. En realidad, guiado por tu inspiración, ¿no? Y pues Srila Govinda Maharaj nos había manifestado, ¿no? En alguna ocasión él nos manifestó. Él dijo, I don't know how much Janarda Maharaj knows. Maybe 87%, 97%. I don't know how much he knows. But whatever he knows perfectly. Whoever who follows to Srila Janarda Maharaj blindly, he will make a very substantial progress, spiritual progress in his life. Escuchamos eso de labios de Srila Govinda Maharaj. Él expresó mucho afecto, mucho aprecio, mucha confianza en ti. Y el día ese del programa yo pude verlo. En realidad, pues todos los devotos, todos eran devotos generales del ejército de Srila Prabhupada, de Srila Guru Maharaj, de Srila Govinda Maharaj. Ahí estaba Hasya Priya Prabhu, Swarnangi Didi, estuvo Sarvabhavana Prabhu, Dikshavati Didi, estuvo Sanatani Didi, Kumkum Didi. Bueno, todos discípulos de Prabhupada, todos devotos mayores, y en realidad pues la inspiración venía de ti, porque Srila Govinda Maharaj siempre manifestó eso. Entonces es algo que yo quería compartir ahora con los devotos. Lo mismo lo dijo de Srila Azra Maharaj, ¿no? Srila Govinda Maharaj acostumbraba a llamarle a Azra Maharaj el Swami Armonía, ¿no? Él en una ocasión dijo, yo casi no uso fácilmente la expresión sadhu, pero cuando yo veo a Azra Maharaj, yo sé que Azra Maharaj, él es un sadhu. Y hubieron expresiones muy favorables, tanto de Srila Maharaj. Srila Maharaj decía que Azra Maharaj era un pensador profundo, ¿no? Nosotros podemos ver cuando alguien le hace una pregunta, él no está inmediatamente saltando a la respuesta. Él siempre piensa, él siempre medita. Y Srila Govinda Maharaj nos dijo eso, ¿no? Que cualquiera que pudiera seguir a Azra Maharaj, especialmente en una ocasión que viajábamos con Azra Maharaj estábamos en Govardhan con Srila Govinda Maharaj y viajábamos para Nueva Delhi. Antesito de salir al viaje, Srila Govinda Maharaj me dijo eso. Me dijo, si usted puede mantenerse en la asociación de Azra Maharaj y Janarda Maharaj, usted siempre va a estar bien protegido.
Tanto gusto en verte. Estoy contento que estás recuperando. Ahora guarda un poquito de fuerza porque todo.
Maharaj, Mandavad.
We're happy to see Puri Maharaj. He and Revati and other devotees in Ecuador were suffering very much from. They're still getting over this coronavirus. Both of them very much affected. I think you can hear that in the words of Puri Maharaj. He's talking that one of the things he said, I said that Prabhupada said, cut your coat according to your cloth. Prabhupada said, according to the necessities that you have, he said you can adjust according to, the same thing Srila Govinda Maharaj said, if you have $10, you can do business with $10. If you have $5, you can do business with $5. If you have $1, you can do business with $1. You do according to what your capacity is and who you have to help you and everything. So I say cut, and Prabhupada's expression, cut your coat according to your cloth. You work with what capacity you have. If during these times of pandemic or something you don't have all the devotees to do the service, then you adjust the service according to the help that you have. That's what we're doing, and we had that different, as I said in the beginning. I had Ramai is a pujari. Ramai was doing so much puja, and he would be up till 1 o'clock in the morning with so many different things he did, and then he would wake up to do Mangala Arti at 5:30 in the morning. And I don't know how much he slept, but he did everything. And now he's gone, and we have different devotees doing different services. It's like Gopinamar said, if I have $10, I can do business with $10. If I have $5, I can do business with $5. That's what Puri Maharaj was commenting. I can work and can do as much as the capacity that each of us has. Now, Ashram Maharaj and myself, Ashram Maharaj he's a very deep thinker, and he thinks of, before he acts, he thinks of things very carefully. And sometimes my nature is a little bit like impulsive at times. I'm impulsive. I react quickly to situations. Sometimes that's very good, because if somebody comes to present some problem, then I react quickly to that problem, trying to stop it before it starts. But Ashram Maharaj, he thinks about how to continue with the mission. He's thinking carefully. He's trying to consider what's required, and he thinks that through very deeply. And I remember when I used to go collecting with Ashram Maharaj, he always had a book with him, and he's always writing down in the book different things. So then the next time we would go see that person, maybe 6 months later or 1 year later, Ashram Maharaj says, how is your family? And he would know the name of the sons and daughters and persons of the family, and the person would, of course, be very charmed by that. So Ashram Maharaj is very thorough in what he did, and he's always thinking, and Guru Maharaj liked it. Ashram Maharaj thought things through very carefully. And
Puri Maharaj is still there?
Ashram Maharaj
Puri Maharaj. Maharaj, un saludo muy afectuoso. Y para Revati, por favor.
Gracias.
Nos han estado enviando reportes. Murali Krishna, Pani Bhushan, nos han estado enviando reportes a diario de cómo está tu salud, cómo está la salud de ambos. Bimala, ¿verdad? Lo contentos, los reanimados que se sintieron ahí con Bimala. En fin, cuídense mucho.
Gracias, Maharaj. Sí, puede bastante ayuda la presencia de Bimala aquí.
Anda, Puri Maharaj. Pero lo que estamos viendo, Puri Maharaj, nos da mucha alegría de verte. Nos está pensando mucho en ti y orando para que tú te mejores cada día. Lo estamos viendo. Las palabras que acabas de expresar fueron muy bellas, tanto para llenar a Maharaj como para Ashram Maharaj. Y nos sentimos protegidos, Puri Maharaj. No estamos solos. Esto que dijiste de Sri Ashram Maharaj lo escuchamos una vez en la Ciudad de México cuando vino Sri Govinda Maharaj, y él dijo, Sri Ashram Maharaj es un sabio, y yo sé que él es un sabio. Tú sabes aquel que lo da todo y no se queda nada para sí mismo. Lo acabas de expresar. Y es que nos dio alegría tus palabras, Puri Maharaj, y nos da más gusto y más alegría verte.
Tuvimos,
Tanto Puri Maharaj.
tuvimos esa fortuna de escuchar directamente de los,
Igual.
de los labios del loto de Srila Bhaktisundar Govinda de Goswami Maharaj. Y eso es lo que quedó impregnado en nuestros corazones.
Que guardamos en nuestro corazón, Puri Maharaj. Así es.
They're speaking something of the nature of Ashamars. Ashamars has like a sadhu nature. He doesn't keep anything for himself. He's always giving to others. And I remember one time somebody told me, one of the devotees from Mexico, he said, he told me, he said that they were seeing ashramars like in the role of, you know, como un sacerdote, como un padre, like as a father who's taking care of all the devotees. He has that nature. And then that person said to me, that person